All right. Hi, Kelly. My name is Lillian. Lillian Blaisdell. You can call me Lily. I'm a social worker here at this prison. Um, I just wanted to talk to you today, and I'm glad that you agreed to meet. Um, I just wanted to go over a few things with you before we get started. Just want to explain to you my role here and some things that we'll talk about. So here at this prison, I work with women like you who are being released back into the community soon, and I work to make sure that you guys have the skills and resources accessible to you so that you have a positive and successful reintegration back into society. And I'm just here to answer any questions you may have. Before we do get started, I just want to let you know that everything we talk about here is confidential, and I'm not going to share it with anybody without your permission. So feel free to talk about anything that you're comfortable with. And if we do touch on something, or if I ask you something that you're not comfortable talking about, just let me know and we won't talk about that. So that's a little bit about what I do. Do you have any questions?
Okay. Well, probably a ton of questions. um, this is my first time, ever really being, in jail before. So.
I know it's not someplace that you ever want to come back to, right?
No, I don't ever want to come back. I don't like it.
That's a good answer. And that's what I'm here to help prevent.
Good, because I'm a little scared about, when my time is done here.
Yeah, I completely understand, Kelly. It can be scary to go back into society and be faced with all of the temptations that you're not faced with in here. And it's scary to think that you don't know what you might choose to do. And so that's why I'm here to help make sure that you have the skills to be successful and to not fall back into old patterns.
Okay, good. Because this whole drug thing, it really wasn't my fault. I ended up taking the rap for it, but it really wasn't my fault.
Oh, the possession of controlled substances charge.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Yeah, my boyfriend had a rap sheet a mile long, and he had some drugs on him, and we got pulled over by the cops, and he shoved it in my pocket so he wouldn't get in trouble for it.
okay. So you weren't using the drugs?
I wasn't using the drugs, no.
Okay. Okay. Well, before we get into that, I just kind of want to talk about your childhood and just get to know you a little bit. Is that okay to talk about?
Sure, we can talk about that.
Awesome. So I know that you're here in Houston in this prison, but did you grow up here? Did you grow up somewhere else?
I did. I grew up in northern Minnesota.
Oh, really? What's it like there?
It's cold.
A lot different than here.
Really cold, yes. It's definitely really different. And I grew up in a really small town, so like everybody knows everybody.
I bet. So what brought you to Houston?
My parents came here for work. My dad does drywall, and he, work was drying up in us, in this small little town, so he packed us all up.
Okay, and
I think I was about 12 when we moved.
oh wow. So you've been here half your life then.
Yeah,
Okay. Do you remember Minnesota?
I do. We didn't move around a lot, but I remember summer times, it was warm, and going to the lake, and we'd lay on the beach, and you know, I'd get sunburnt because I'd fall asleep. We
Well,
went fishing in the winter.
yeah, those sound like good activities to do, especially during the summer.
Yeah, it was good times till we moved.
Good times until you moved to Texas?
Yeah, then things weren't as good after that.
Oh, what do you mean things weren't as good?
Um, life was pretty hard. My parents, I think the move was hard on my mom, and so they were fighting all the time, and then my dad was kind of abusive. He'd take it out on my mom when he was drinking.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
It was hard to watch my mom go through that.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that you had to watch that. A child shouldn't have to watch that. Um, did he ever hurt you?
Yeah, there was a few times he shoved me around a little bit when he thought I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing. But he never really hit me. It was just more shoving.
Okay.
A lot
Um,
of more verbal abuse than anything.
I'm sorry to hear that, Kelly. How was that? How did that impact you as a child?
It made me want to kind of stay in my room all the time by myself, and then after a while, then when I got old enough, I just didn't want to be at home ever. And I think that's when I started kind of running around with people that, you know, probably weren't the best choices when I was a teenager.
Okay, so it was when you were a teenager that you started getting into trouble.
Yeah, nothing really big, just, smoking a little pot, going to some parties, you know, and then, I started hanging out with a crowd that was, they were kind of stealing things, and, I knew it wasn't right, but, what else was there to do for extra money?
Hmm. How do you think that impacted you as an adult, as the person you are now?
Um, I don't like it, and definitely like to make some changes in my life.
Well,
I just, it was hard, watching, my mom getting beat up, and I think, have some anger issues sometimes. That probably is why I ended up getting an assault charge on me when I was 21.
oh, okay. Do you want to talk more about that assault charge?
Not really. I mean, it was no big deal, but it was dumb.
Just a fight.
Yeah, just a fight over
Okay.
something really stupid.
Okay. Um, well, what was your life like before you were sent here 4 months ago?
Well, as you know, and you can see my record, I did get in a little bit of trouble for, some stealing and, the assault charge. And then, I got pregnant, and that was about 5 years ago or so. Um, and I lost custody. My child's dad has the baby.
Mm. Do you have a son or a daughter?
I have a son.
What's his name?
His name is Billy.
Oh, do you do you have any contact with your son?
I don't. I don't ever get to see him. I don't think his dad wants me around.
Mm. I see here in my paperwork that you signed away your parental rights to Billy. Do you think that was like the best choice for you?
I think it was the best choice for Billy because I wasn't in a place to take care of him the way I should.
Okay.
And his dad takes good care of him, so I can't complain.
Okay.
I mean, I'd like to see him, but his dad doesn't want me around, so
Mm-hmm. When you say you're
I
not,
don't want to use him.
mm, when you say that you're not in the you weren't in the best place to take care of him, what do you mean?
Well, with all of my, my past, my little, charges of the, the stolen goods and the, and the assault charges, and I was just kind of doing something and hanging out with people that I shouldn't be, doing some drinking, smoking a little pot, but nothing any stronger than that. I don't do drugs, just smoke a little pot here and there. It wasn't a good place to be raising a child.
Okay. I hear that you understand what you were doing wasn't the best for the child, and um, you were mature enough to make that decision at 19. 19 is very young.
Yeah, I thought at the time it was the best decision. Sometimes I regret it a little bit, that I wasn't mature enough to take care of my responsibilities, but
Well, I think we as people take care of situations in the best way that we see. So if that was the best decision for you and for your son, then I'm glad you were mature enough to make that decision.
yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. So were you working anywhere before you were sent here?
Um, here and there, little fast food jobs. Nothing ever panned out. There
Okay. What place?
wasn't any real money in it.
Oh, okay. Entry level jobs.
Hmm.
Okay. Here in Houston?
Yeah, here in Houston, I mean, I don't have a high school diploma. I kind of dropped out of high school, so um, it's hard to find good work when you don't have a high school diploma.
Yes. Is that something that you're interested in getting, your GED?
I think I would like to do that, but for when I get out so that I can try to find a better job.
Yeah, definitely. There are programs that I can direct you to um, when that gets closer to you being released.
Okay, good. Yeah, I think I would really like that.
Yeah, I think that's a great decision to make.
Because as you probably see in my record, I'm pregnant again, and it's going to be really hard to try. I'm trying to think of what to do. How am I going to take care of this baby? You know,
Yeah, do you know what you're having? Are you having a girl or a boy?
I'm having a girl this time.
Oh, wow. Do you,
I definitely want to do things better this time, but I don't know which way to go. I don't know where to turn.
well, what do you mean you want to do things better this time? Do you want to raise this child?
I think I'd like to, but I just don't know if I can. I mean, what do I do when I don't have a job and I don't really have a steady place to live. I don't think I'll really have support from her father.
And who's her father?
That's the problem. I don't know.
Okay. Well, Kelly, those are all very valid things to be concerned about, especially when you are going to be taking on motherhood. Um, and those are all things that I can help you with. And those are all things that I can direct you to people who can help you with. Um, so whatever your concerns are, just let me know so I can help you and I can direct you to the people that can help you as well. Uh,
Okay.
uh, I think that's a very noble thing, choosing to be a mother and to better yourself for your child. That's very noble of you.
Yeah, because I'd really like to do things different this time, but I mean, there's always the possibility of adoption too. If if I can't get myself, in a better place, because I don't want her to suffer.
And there are lots of options out there, and we can discuss that um, at length as well. Uh,
Okay. I'd like to keep that maybe as a backup plan, maybe, just
yeah,
in case. I mean, my goal would be to keep her if I can, but I still want to do the best by her that, that I can make sure she gets what she deserves, a
mhm.
good life.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. Well, before we end our meeting and I just wanted to thank you for talking to me and speaking with me today. That was very, um, just thank you for speaking with me today. I do have a couple pamphlets I'd like to give you to look over before we meet next time. They just talk about jobs available to felons or individuals or women with criminal records.
Mhm.
Um, and there's also a pamphlet about learning how to get housing and how to get support after prison in that regard. And I'll include a pamphlet about clinics around Houston that will help with ex-felons who are pregnant or for low-income families that are expecting. And just before we meet next time, if you have time, I would like for you to just go over those and kind of think about what you want your life to look like, after you get out of prison, and the things that you want to accomplish and some goals that you have for your future. And I think if you prepare those next time, for next time will be great because we'll have a few things to talk about and some things that I can help you with.
Oh, good. I'll definitely look at them because I mean, I feel much better after talking to you today.
Well, good, good. That makes me happy. Makes me think I'm doing my job right.
Yep, it was kind of nice to get some of that off my chest.
Good. Well, I will talk with you next time.
All right, thank you.
Bye.